Hi, my name's Cheese, and welcome to another Fossil Sweeper progress update video. If you haven't heard of the project before, you can find an overview here, but the TLDR is, it's like Minesweeper, but you're digging up fossils, you need to build skeletons out of the stuff you find. Over the past month or so, I've continued to improve on wall and ceiling placement for keyboard and gamepad controls in the museum, and I've also found time to start work on revamping the dig phase environment backgrounds. Peter's also been working on finishing up the last tracks for the game's soundtrack, and we'll be talking about that in the next video. Coming back to look at the dig phase has been a pleasant change of pace for me. After going back to some wave function collapse experiments I'd done last year and weighing up some other options, I'm feeling that I'm getting the best balance of results, flexibility, and performance from a height map based solution. At the moment, I'm using pre-authored flat geometry broken up into tiles so that occlusion culling can limit what's being rendered. Nearby tiles have more polygons so that they can present more detail closer to the camera. I'm currently undecided on whether I'll use pre-authored height maps or generate them at runtime, but since the diggable areas aren't consistent sizes, I'll need to do some runtime tweaks to ensure that the ground is correctly aligned with where it needs to be regardless. There's still a bunch more work to do, but so far I'm feeling like this is the right direction to go and will give me one solution that I can use for all of the biomes. While doing some initial benchmarking to see what impact height map backgrounds would have on level generation, I discovered that the main bottleneck was the point at which collision objects were being added to the scene. I don't really use any physics stuff in the dig phase, but collision objects are used to detect whether the mouse cursor is over a given tile. When those are added to the scene tree, Godot checks to see if they overlap with any other collision objects, so things tend to slow down quite a bit once you've got a really big dig site. After setting the collision mask bit mask to be 0, which prevents those checks, the huge dig size sites dropped from about 25 to 30 seconds to 5 seconds to generate, which is a big improvement. Before shifting over to the dig phase, I fixed up some of the problems I was having with gamepad and keyboard wall and ceiling placement mentioned in the last video. There's still some weirdness when selecting multiple items and trying to move them between differently angled walls, but I think I'm going to leave that for now and come back later. Balancing maintaining relative position against maintaining position relative to the viewport and cursor, while also trying to keep things snapped to the grid, is a big old barrel of fun that I don't think I need to get bogged down in right now. A very big thank you to the supporters going by on screen at the moment. Their support has helped me eat while making this game, and I am so very appreciative. A special thanks to new supporter Sir Laserdisc. A huge thanks also to Screen Tasmania, who supported this project with a small grant. Anyway, that's about it for today. If you'd like to keep track of development or try the playable prototype, you can find some links in the description, and if you're super keen to check out what we talked about here today, I make early test builds available to my supporters on Patreon. Thanks for watching, and goodbye!